So welcome to all of you. Today we will see the completeness property of R. So first we will see bounded set. What do we mean by a bounded set? That we will see. Okay. So for that we will see first one, bounded above. Bounded above. Okay. That means what? When the set is bounded above, when the set is bounded below, that we will see first one. So if set is bounded above and bounded below, then your set is bounded set. Okay. So let without definition, let S be a non-empty subset of R. S is said to be bounded above. S is said to be bounded above if there exists U belongs to R. If there exists U belongs to R such that X is less than or equal to U for all X belong to S. For all X belong to S. That means what? All the elements of S are less than U. Okay. So see that S is a non-empty subset. So non-empty means it has access to at least one element. So then it is said to be non-empty set. Okay. So S is said to be bounded above. So if there exists a number, any real number U, such way that X is less than or equal to U for all X belongs. That means what? Every member of S is less than U. So that means suppose you are here. So this is your set S now. Okay. Now this is a real number. This is exist. Okay. So this will be your U now. So see that all the numbers in S are less than U. So that means what? If this is the set, if your set is this, then what here? So you from this, okay, all the rest are upper bound of so this is what. So here what? Every number is there. All the elements of S are less than these numbers. Okay. So then okay. So this is the definition. Okay. U is called an upper bound of S. U is an upper bound of S. So how many upper bounds are there? There may be infinitely many upper bounds will be there. So that means what? If this is the set of the real number and if this is your set S, this is your S. Okay. So this will be your S. Then this is the upper bound. This is also upper bound. This is also every number is the upper bound of S because what? All the elements of S is less than this number. So that means what? If you consider S as an open interval -1, 1. So that means what? Your -1 is here, 1 is here, and all the elements lie between -1. Then what? 1.1, 1.111. Okay, 1.1111. Okay, so all these are the upper bounds of yes. So there are infinitely many upper bounds. Only what is the upper bound? It means what? There exists at least one real number, such way that all the elements of S are less than that number. Okay. So now here what? One is also upper bound. All the elements are less than 1. So this is less than or equal to. Okay. So 1 is also upper bound here. So that means what here? The element U may be in the S or may not be in the S. Right? This U may be in S or may not be in S. Okay. Now we'll see second one. Bounded below now. Bounded below. Okay. Let S be a non-empty subset of R, the set of real numbers. Okay. S is said to be bounded below, bounded below, if there exists some v belongs to R such that v is less than or equal to x, or all x belong to S. Bounded below. Below means there is a, okay. So we write first V is called a lower bound of S. So that means what here? Suppose this is S, is your set. This is S. This is your the set S. So that means what? When we say that it is the bounded below, if there is a lower bound, that means all elements are of S are greater than that number. So that means here, see these numbers. These are, so this is what? Suppose this is A1, A2, this is A3, A4. Now see that all the elements of S are greater than this A1, A2, A3, right? So that means what? Lower bound is exist. Means what? Lower bound means what? There exists a real number such way that all the elements of S are greater than that number, and upper bound is what? All the numbers of S is less than that number. Okay, so this is lower bound. That means what? The set is bounded above. Now we will see the third one is bounded set down. Bounded set. Okay. Let S be a non-empty subset of R. S is said to be bounded set if S is both bounded above and below. So S bounded means what? It is bounded below as well as bounded above, right? So if a set is bounded below and bounded above, then it is bounded set. That means both the lower bound and upper bound are exist. Okay. Now with some example, so that you will understand how the set is bounded above or bounded below now. Okay. Suppose S is equal to x belongs to R now. X is less than 5. Now here what? All the elements of S are less than 5. So here 5 is, so write 5 now. Okay. So 5 is an upper bound of S. Even though 6 is also upper bound, 5.5 is also upper bound of this. Okay. So therefore S is bounded above, because what? Upper bound is exist. Okay. So now what is the lower bound of this? Does there exist a real number such way that all the elements of S are greater than number? Okay. So here all x are less than 5 is given to you. Okay. But what here? So we don't see this x is what? Less than 5 only. All the elements of S are less than 5. Okay. So it is not given that all the x are greater than some number. So that means what here? Lower bound does not exist here. So lower bound does not exist. So therefore S is not bounded below. So therefore S is not bounded. Because what? It is bounded above but not bounded below. So that means what? S is not bounded. So when we say that it is bounded set, if it is bounded below as well as bounded above. Okay. So that means what? This S is what? Bounded above but not bounded below. So therefore it is not bounded. Okay. Now next we will see example. Suppose S is like this. X belongs to R such that -3 less than x less than 5. Okay. Now here what? minus 3 is a lower bound. Minus 3 is lower bound. Because what? All x are greater than minus 3. All the elements of S are greater than minus 3. So minus 3 is a lower bound, even though minus 4 is also a lower bound. Okay, so minus 5 is a lower bound. But here what? One element is enough now for us. So minus 3 is enough for us. So what? All the elements of S are greater than minus 3. So minus 3 is the lower bound. So therefore S is bounded below. S is bounded below. Now 5 is an upper bound of S. Upper bound of S. So therefore S is bounded above. So S is bounded below and bounded above. Therefore S is bounded. S is bounded. S is bounded set. Okay. So S is bounded set now here. So I hope that it is clear to you when we say that the set is bounded below and bounded above. So for bounded below, lower bound should be exist, right? If lower bound exists, then it is bounded below. If upper bound exists, then it is bounded above. Okay. Now we see supremum and infimum now. Supremum and infimum of set. Okay. So first we will see the definition of the supremum. Supremum of a set. Okay. So we define this. Let S be a non-empty subset of R. Non-empty subset of R. Okay. Non-empty subset of R. Okay. Let S be bounded above. S be the bounded above. Then, if instead of let, if S is bounded above, then a real number, then U belong to R. I will say U belongs to R. Is said to be a supremum of S if 1. So this U is an upper bound of S, and second no number less than U is an upper bound of S. No number less than U is an upper bound of S. Okay. So we write this as supremum of S is U. Supremum of S is U. So what is the supremum? It should be the upper bound. Okay. So what is this? This upper bound. No number less than U is an upper bound of S. Means what? U is the smallest upper bound. The smallest among all the upper bound is nothing but a supremum. So that means no number less than U will be the upper bound of S, and U is the upper bound. Then we say that U is the supremum of S. Okay. So it is also called as least upper bound. Okay. So LUB means what? Least upper bound. It is also called as LUB, least upper bound. Okay. So now we will see definition of the infimum now. Infimum. Let S be a non-empty subset of R. S is bounded below now here. If S is bounded below, then U is said to be an infimum. Is said to be an infimum of S. Infimum infimum of S if U is a lower bound of S. If U is a lower bound, okay, because set is bounded out below, that means lower bound is exist. Okay, no number greater than U, no number greater than U, greater than U is a lower bound of S, is a lower bound of S. We write this as infimum of S. Infimum of S is equal to U. It is also denoted by, it is also called as greatest lower bound, that is GLB. This is also called as greatest lower bound. Okay. So now that means what here? So so U is what? So no number greater than U. That means what here? Suppose this is U is here. No number greater than U is a lower bound of S. So these are the lower bound. These are the lower bound, and this you are saying that U is the infimum of the set S. That means what? And U is what? No number greater than U is the lower bound of S. So that means what here? U is a biggest of the lower bound. Biggest of the lower bound. That means what? The greatest lower bound is nothing but the infimum of S. Okay. Greatest lower bound is nothing but the infimum of S, and the smallest of the upper bound is nothing but the supremum of S. Okay. So we'll see some examples on it, so that you will understand what do we mean by supremum and infimum of the set. Okay. So suppose we take a set S, for example, X belongs to R such that 0 less than X less than 1 now. Okay. Now see, your 0 is here and 1 is here. Okay. And this is the set of R. So this is your S now. This is your S. All X lies between 0 and 1. Now see this 1, 2, 3, 4, dot dot dot. Even the one, all the numbers lie between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 4, 3 and 4 are also the upper bound of S. Okay, are upper bound of S. Are the upper bound of S. But what do you mean by supremum? Or smallest of all upper bound is nothing but the supremum of S. So which one is the smallest? So see, the 1 is the smallest. Okay, 1 is the smallest. So supremum of S is equal to 1. Right? Now see here, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, they are all lower bound. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, dot dot dot. Are even though 0 also. No 0, 0 minus 1 are lower bound of S. Lower bound of S. And what is the smallest? This is what? Greatest of the all lower bound is nothing but the biggest. That means greatest means biggest of the all lower bound is nothing but the infimum of the set. So which one is the greatest? 0 is the greatest among all the lower bound. So that means what here? Infimum of S is 0. Infimum of S is 0. Okay. So we'll write a note. U is a supremum. So we'll write 1. U is a supremum of S. Supremum of S. That is U is upper bound of S, and if we will write, okay. So if U is the supremum of S, then U is upper bound of S and so what we are saying that no number less than U is an upper bound of S. Then for all epsilon greater than 0, U minus epsilon is not an upper bound of S. You can write this also definition instead of this one. U is said to be supremum of S if U is an upper bound of S, and for all epsilon greater than 0, u minus epsilon is not an upper bound of S. This is also a definition. So this is the meaning of what? No number less than u. This is what? U minus epsilon. This number is less than u. U minus epsilon. This number, because epsilon we are taking that greater than 0, and it is very small now. U minus epsilon is not an upper bound of S. That means no number less than u is an upper bound of S. So this is the meaning of this. Right? So this is what you are saying, that for all epsilon greater than 0, u minus epsilon is not an upper bound of S. That means you are saying that no number less than u is an upper bound of S. Okay. Second note, if u is an infimum of S, then u is a lower bound of S, and for all epsilon greater than 0, what we are saying, that no number greater than u is a lower bound of S. So that means what? And for all epsilon greater than 0, u plus epsilon is not a lower bound of S. So what you are saying, that for all epsilon greater than 0, u plus epsilon is not a lower bound of S. That means you are saying that no number greater than u. Now u plus epsilon is greater than u, right? So because epsilon is positive now here, okay? So u plus epsilon is greater than u. So that means what here? No, is not a lower bound of S. That means what here? No number greater than u is a lower bound of S. So this is the meaning of the infimum also in other language. So here what you are saying, that all epsilon greater than 0, u plus epsilon is not a lower bound of S. That means you are saying that no number greater than u is a lower bound of S. Okay. So what? Also note 3 now. U is not upper bound of S. That is, there exists V belongs to S such that, so u is not upper bound of S. That means there exists an element V such that u is V. So that you write here. U is. So when we say that u is not upper bound of S, so u is not, upper bound means what? No number. So u means what? All the number S are less than u. So you are saying that u is not upper bound. That means what here? There exists at least one element which is greater than u. Because u is upper bound. When we say that upper bound, so upper bound means what? This is your upper bound, and this will be yours. Yes. All the elements of S are less than this number. But you are saying that u is not upper bound. That means there is at least one element here, such way that what? All the elements of S are less than that number, right? So that means what? U is not upper bound. That means there exists at least one element in S, such way that u is then V is greater than u. So there exists V belongs to S such that u is less than V, because u is not upper bound. Okay. So same thing here. We write a note 4. U is not a lower bound of S. That is, so not upper bound S. So u is not upper bound S implies that there exists V belongs to S. Such that u is not a lower bound. Lower bound means what? Your S is here. So here what? These are the lower bound. So this is what? U is not a lower bound. So u is not lower bound. It is not lower bound means what? There exists at least one element such way that what? Where it is element is here now. So here it will be lower bound then. Okay. So it is not lower bound. So that means what? Lower bound means what? All the elements of S are greater than that number. Right? So it's not, that means what? There will be such that V is less than U. Right? So that means what? The elements of See here, all the elements of S are greater than U. Okay, so use the lower bound means what? All elements are greater than U. But use not lower bound. That means there is at least one element is there, right? So V belongs to. So V is less than U. Okay, so that means all the elements will be the greater than V then now, right? Okay, so this is the meaning of lower bound and upper bound of this. Okay, so we are using this somewhere while proving some theorem. We are using this one. So is not upper bound with there exists V. U is not lower bound, that means there exists V, so that V is less than U. Okay, so we are doing somewhere that we are applying this property somewhere while proving some theorems or some properties of the set. Okay, now see here we will take a theorem. Okay, theorem and upper bound of U of a non-empty set S in R, set S in R. That means S is a non-empty subset of R. Non-empty subset of R. Is a supremum of S if and only if there exists epsilon greater than 0. So for all epsilon greater than 0. This is not if there exists. For all epsilon greater than 0. For all epsilon greater than 0, there exists and U belongs to S. You cannot take U. There exists. V belongs to, and there exists V belongs to S. There exists V belongs to S. Or you may say that there exists S epsilon will say belongs to S such that U minus epsilon is less than S epsilon. Okay, so proof. And upper bound U of S is the supremum. Okay, so let U be a supremum of S, is the supremum of S. So therefore, V is less than or equal to U for all V belong to, yes, U is the supremum, that means U is the upper bound of S. So choose epsilon is equal to U minus V. Then epsilon for epsilon greater than 0, there exists belong to S such that V is less than, such that, so note that if you were here, V is not a supremum, so that means V is not a lower bound, V is not a upper bound. Okay, so that means V is less than some this epsilon. Okay, but what is V? V is nothing but a U minus epsilon. U minus epsilon is less than S epsilon, right? So we are saying V is not a upper bound of S. V will not be the upper bound because what here, no number less than U. You are calling that you are supremum. U is the supremum. That means what here, no number. So this is what V is not a upper bound of S. V will not be the upper bound of S. So V is not upper bound of S. So just we have seen that there exists at least one element in S such that that element is greater than V, because V is not the upper bound of S. So just we are using this here now here. What? So it is okay. So and V is not upper bound of S. Upper bound of S. Okay. So then for epsilon greater than 0, there exists if S is whatever this number is such that V is less than this. Okay. So now your V is what? V is nothing but U minus epsilon. So this V is here you have started. So U minus epsilon. See, V is there, so U minus epsilon will be there. Okay. So just we got this. We got this one. Okay. Now, second. In the second part, okay, so we'll prove this once again. We'll prove this once again. Okay. If U is an upper bound of S, U is an upper bound of S. So therefore V is less than or equal to U for all V belong to S. For all V belong to S. Okay. So now, all V belong to S. So let epsilon is equal to U minus V now. Okay. So epsilon is greater than 0 now. Epsilon is greater than 0. Okay. Because what here? U minus V. So this is what? So 0 is greater than U minus V you are writing here. Okay. So I will write this as strictly now. I will write this as strictly. Okay. Epsilon. For all so for epsilon greater than 0, so there exists, so that means what here? V is not a upper bound now. V is not a upper bound. Okay. So what there exists epsilon such a for epsilon greater than 0, there exists this such that belongs to S, belongs to S, belongs to S, such that V is less than S epsilon. So what is V? This implies that what is V? V is equal to U minus epsilon is less than S epsilon. Right? So this implies that U minus epsilon is not upper bound of S. Upper bound of S. So that is what this implies, that V is not upper bound of S. Okay, it is enough to show that U is not upper bound of S. So what? No number less than U. No number less than U is an upper bound of S. So this implies that your supremum of S is equal to U. Okay. So we are applying this. There exists this. Okay. So we are applying this. Okay. Now what we will assume that U is a supremum, and then we prove there exists S epsilon such that U minus epsilon is less than epsilon. That will okay. So now assume that conversely. Okay. So conversely assume that U is equal to supremum of S, and let epsilon greater than 0, and that epsilon greater than 0. Since u minus epsilon is less than u minus epsilon is less than u, therefore u minus epsilon is not an upper bound of S. Upper bound of S is not upper bound of S. So u minus epsilon not upper bound of S. So therefore there exists S epsilon belongs to S such that u minus epsilon is less than S epsilon. Okay. So this is by definition. Okay. So by definition we get this. Okay. So we have proved this theorem. Then one and very important property is that Archimedean property. Okay, so we'll stop here. In the next lecture we'll see Archimedean property and all the rest of this. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you.